Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Pick and Roll Podcast, episode number 77. I'm here with my guys, Nicky Steves and Rios from the Just Fans Podcast. Blaze is going to hop on. We got a lot of people coming. How you guys doing?
Man, it's 105 degrees today. I'm exhausted from the heat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy
So,
shit.
there
Melt
I'm dealing with a little bit of a heat wave over here, but nothing compared to you. You got it far worse than me, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. How's it going, Blaze?
It's going.
It's going?
Just waiting for my my 4 Kentucky boys to get drafted tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, maybe 2 tonight.
Who? Dillingham? Who?
Dillingham and Shepard are definitely going to go, but
Yeah.
Antonio Reeves, Justin Edwards, and Trey Mitchell are expected to get drafted as well. They're all Kentucky boys.
There you go. Yep. Boo Kentucky. But anyways,
Boo Dukies.
I'm not a Duke fan, so
I know. You're a pretend Michigan fan.
Oh wow, okay. I didn't think you'd go that far. And by the way, really quick, please, thank you for the raid yesterday. That was really
no, it was
cool
fun.
of you. That was perfect. Thank you.
I love doing that.
Yeah. Nova next. We're gonna talk about that right now. I want to start off with Blaze, man. How do you feel about Mikal Bridges going to New York?
I mean, I've seen the consensus of a lot of people. I mean, they wanted 5 first. They got 4. I still think that's too much. I think that's a lot to give up. I mean, I get it, the chemistry and the 4 boys that have played together and the 3 have worked out. And there was rumors about Bridges in the middle of the year. Like, why don't they go get the other Villanova guy? And, so it's not like a big surprise. Like Daniel Barry said, it was expected. But I think it's a little too much. I mean, I saw that from other people. I mean, is he a good player? Yeah. Can he be a great player? Yeah. Is he elite? Like I say this every week. There's that hierarchy to me. There's that elite players up top. Then there's stars, all stars. Then there's really good players. And then there's the rest of the players who are all good. Even Tobias Harris is good, or else he wouldn't be a pro. But I get it. I understand where it's coming from. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, they didn't give up any of their actual big pieces that got them there this year. That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid if they're going to go for Bridges, they're going to give up a couple pieces that help them get to where they are this year. And they just gave up a shit ton of picks, which, I mean, I saw the reports also that the Nets are tanking. I mean, starting fresh. Yes. And you never know when a young team can do well. Look at OKC, look at the Rockets this year. I mean, there's teams that you can have a young team and surprise people. So rebuilding, I would say, yes. And look at the picks the Nets have in the next. Well, one of these picks was like for 2028, which seems like it's forever away, but it's only a couple years. When trades are involving 2020, 2030, 2032, 2035 picks, that's crazy. But yeah. I think it's a little too much, but we'll see. I mean, he might pan out.
Yeah. And I'm curious to say what Rio's got to say about this.
Thank you, New York, for saving the right. I'm glad it wasn't my team that gave all that for him because, yeah, like Blaze, man, that's way too much. Bridges is like a tier below all-star level player. Like, you would think they're getting the second coming of Jordan with all the draft picks they got for him. And I don't know, man. This reeks of desperation. Like if this is the Knicks were one piece away, and this is the missing piece. I get it, but the Knicks are more than one piece away from being a championship team. Even in the wide open East, it reeks of desperation.
Yeah, and Nikki.
I mean, I get it. They're looking to give Brunson some help, so I understand that, and I understand Mikal Bridges. I understand the idea of, okay, we saw from his full season with the Nets, he's not the true number one guy of a team. He doesn't lead a team like a Steph or a LeBron or a Giannis or Luka or those guys. I get it, but you gave up a lot of futures to get him. And from the Nets' point of view, it's like they're trying to do what the Thunder did when they traded Russ and tried to rebuild for the future. Mm-hmm. For the Knicks, now, will this be the answer? I don't know. I mean, you got a bunch of Villanova guys there. I mean, sure, they've guys that played together before. That's nice. And it's a nice piece to the roster, but is this really going to help push the needle to win a championship? I don't know. I mean, Mikal Bridges doesn't strike like if this were like a LeBron D Wade type 1 and 2 thing, I'd get it. But Brunson and Bridges don't strike me as that type, or Steph or Clay.
Mm-mm.
They're just
Hmm.
it keeps them as a. It's kind of like they swapped Bogdanovich for Bridges. They got a maybe slightly better player in return. I don't think that really moves the needle for a championship. And what about those future picks? You never know what could happen. Like if Brunson gets hurt and their season falls apart one year, those future picks could be of value, but they gave them up. So if something like that were to happen, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of feels like they tried to get I don't know, I guess to say the best thing they could while having to give up the least. And I guess they what can we get without giving up any players kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been joking about this for like about a year now. I was keep on telling Coach, it was only a matter of time, Coach. It was only a matter of time that you guys would get Mikal Bridges. And it happened. It's just like, if you know Leon and the whole relationship he's had with the Villanova guys, they're really close. So it makes sense they're trying to make it like a family-oriented organization. That's what they're doing here. Are they going to keep OG? That is my question. Are they going to keep OG? Can you imagine if you have Brunson, Bridges, OG, Randall, Mitchell Robinson, or Isaiah Hartenstein? So that's my question. Is OG staying in New York? Whoever wants it.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
gonna want to get the bag, and I don't see how they can afford him now with that to pay Bridges.
Mhm.
well, to piggyback off of what Rio said, let me ask you guys, and I think I know the answer. I mean, for the amount of picks that they're getting, is Mikal Bridges an all-star? Is he going to be an all-star on the Knicks? Like, that's all-star. If you're giving out, they'd be getting an all-star, in my opinion.
He's
That's the
borderline.
player. The haul they got is for like an elite player.
It's not an all-star.
He's a borderline all-star just because the week is a little bit weak. But if he was in the West, not even a potential reserve. Like,
I mean, you got to think Brunson and Randall, if they're back and healthy, would be competing for an all-star spot. Could they really have 3 all-stars and Bridges too? I mean, I don't see it.
No.
I mean, I guess it could happen, but I doubt it.
Never been an all-star.
And this, I don't know, Mitch, for your OG Anunoby question, this might be a sign that they either trade OG to try to get some picks back to make up for that, or this is their big move. They're going to try to keep OG. So that one's up in the air for me right now, but this doesn't tell me one way or the other if he's going to stay or go.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen that. I mean, this team is built perfectly from the top to bottom. They're just going to make a few minor tweaks. It's something to be a lookout for. It really is.
He fits the mold. He fits the way they play. So I'm not saying, even regardless of the Villanova stuff or whatever, he fits their mold of a player. So I say go get him, but like the rumors was 5 first is what they wanted for him.
It was 4. It was a couple of teams that wanted 4 first-round picks, and they kept on denying it every single time. I remember when me and Jeff, RIP NYG, JeffyT85, RIP, we were watching this game, and the news broke that the Nets declined a 4-player trade or whatever. And he was just like, they're building around Bridges, Mitch. They're going to keep on building around Bridges till it doesn't work no more. Well, he was right. It did not work anymore. And like I said before, Cam Thomas is that number 1 over there.
Yeah.
He's the number 1. And then they're going to build around him, Claxton, and whatever the hell is going on with Ben Simmons.
Oh,
you got to think they're getting rid of him, too. You got to think they're getting rid of him.
That's not a good look when he's your number 3 guy on the team, the guy who barely plays.
We all saw the tweet that, this isn't the end of the Nets, I should say, making moves. They might move some more people and literally start over without a team.
Yeah, like here. Hold on, let me like right here. Rios, you got picks that you traded picks?
This is the most confusing trade ever.
Yeah, it is.
It took me,
Hold on, what?
I had to use my finger to read it. That's how bad it was. I'm like, what the hell? But basically, Brooklyn gets most of their picks back because they swapped up with the Rockets. And the Rockets get Phoenix's picks. So if Phoenix wants to make a trade for like either Durant or Booker, they have a potential trade for the Rockets. I don't see the Rockets making that move though, because why would you trade Sengun for a 36-year-old Kevin Durant? This makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I agree. Sengun has a lot of promise, and you're hoping you can get the tail end of someone's career instead.
Could you imagine if somehow you traded your 3rd overall pick for KD? Could that
I mean, if they did that, I'd be okay. As long as they don't.
Yeah, that's not bad. But
Yeah.
can you guys take on the money that Durant's going to want?
Yeah, because no one's getting a max deal on our
That's
team.
true. That's true.
No one has a max. I think the highest paid player is, it's either Little Mike Evans or Dylan Brooks.
Little Mike Evans? If you guys don't know, that's Fred VanVleet. If you guys don't know,
Little
that's Fred
Mike
VanVleet.
Evans.
Mini Mike Evans. Hey, Butterfly.
It looks like him. Look him up. Look
Yeah,
up
it's
Fred
really
VanVleet and then look up Mike Evans. I'm telling you, they look almost exactly alike.
That's like Brandon Ayuk looks just like Mike Tomlin, too, if you put them next to each other.
right? Hey, Butterfly,
Yeah.
how are you? Thank you for stopping by. But
Well, yeah, this is number 3 for Kevin Durant. I could live with that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad move.
Trading Sengun for Kevin Durant now.
I mean, it will be obviously more than just the 3rd pick. It
Yeah.
will be like, can you imagine if they gave all these picks away again?
Well, if they get their pick and some of the picks that they gave to the Nets and the Kevin Durant deal, I think if they're looking to rebuild, I'll get their own draft picks back because they're going to be bad.
Hey, what is up, man? What is up? About a year ago, man, Jeff passed away. So I don't know if you actually heard, but yeah, man, he passed away like a year ago. And RIP, we all miss him dearly. So yeah, I remember you in the chat, so hopefully you're doing well. Yep, Arku, yep.
Yeah, 13
But-
months.
Yeah, crazy. And then I thought Randy was here because I wanted to talk about this. Let's talk about the Scotty Barnes extension. How do you guys feel about that? Scotty Barnes getting extended. I feel like it's the right move.
No, it definitely is. I mean, they're also a rebuilding team, and that's a piece to build around
Yeah.
because he's an all-star level player. Like that's a guy you can build around. Mikal Bridges, not really a guy you really build around. He's like, at best your 3rd best player on a contending team, but
Yeah. I mean, I like Scotty Barnes. I really do. He's a young, talented player. They got some players over there, and Scotty Barnes, he's going to be the face of the franchise. I like it. Nikki, how do you feel about Scotty Barnes getting extended?
Hey, I mean, they know that Scotty Barnes is their guy they got to build around for the future. So that's what they're doing. They're saying, hey, we were in rebuild mode. This is our guy for the future. Let's extend him. Now let's put pieces around him. I think that's the right move to extend him. But the question is, what do they do next?
Right. That's the next thing.
So
How
they-
much
they
money?
come
I wonder
first
how
right
much
now.
money they have in the cap. I wonder how much. Well, let me look up there.
they should have some decent amount of space because they don't really have anyone that they've I don't think they have any bloated contracts or any. They're not paying anybody else. Everyone else is like on the rookie deals or team friendly deals, kind of like the Rockets.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Scotty Barnes, but you're going to need more than just Scotty Barnes if you're going to try to go for a championship.
Oh yeah, definitely. They definitely need more Scotty Barnes. I think it was just one step in the right direction.
You
Ever
got to
since
lock
they-
down the players that are happy there and are doing well. So, yeah, I agree with you guys.
Sorry to cut you guys off, but
What?
to answer his question, it was food poisoning.
Yeah. Yep. Appreciate that, Butterfly. Thank you, Butterfly. But yeah. So back to the Raptors. Total cap. It looks like they got 35 around there or something like that. So they got some money. Like you're looking at the free agent. Who on the wrong thing? Yeah, they got some players that are available. So for like extensions, so they're in the right direction. So I'm happy for them. Happy for Randy as well. Hopefully everything's going well with Randy. And now JJ Redick, new Lakers head coach. We all saw it coming. Let's start with Blaze. How do you feel about JJ Redick?
I'm not going to be a skeptic like everybody else. I mean, I've done my
Right.
research and seen that there are several coaches that have no experience to come in and do well. So I mean, I'm also going to be a realist. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't think LeBron had any influence, but I don't think he's sitting up on a throne saying this should happen, that should happen. But yes, you want to accommodate your star. I mean, he could threaten to leave, so why not bring in someone he's used to? I'm not going to. I joked in the chat about switching in my Lakers to a Lakers fan instead of a Sixers, didn't cheer for JJ Redick. But I mean, he's a Dookie too. And I mean, I'm supposed to not like him as a Kentucky fan, but I always liked his game. I mean, he was a valuable player on the court. He's very smart when it comes to, what he's doing. And he even said it. He's like, I coached kids for 2 years. I don't have the experience. You guys are right. He's like, but I don't really like to judge someone until I see them in action and see what they can do. Now, from listening here and there on some ESPN stuff, they say he is the kind of coach that will tell you about yourself. He was a player like that, and he will be a coach as well. Now, is he going to stand there and order LeBron and AD around? But no, probably not. But I think he is the type of coach that can be a little more stern instead of just saying, go do what the fuck you want. But I think I want to give him an opportunity. I really do, because I mean, watching it analyze basketball doesn't mean you're a great coach, but he's very smart as far as the X's and O's, as well as proving it on the court. So I want to give him an opportunity as the coach. I definitely don't want the Lakers to be great because I don't like the Lakers, but I'm giving him a shot. I want to give him the opportunity to prove himself as a coach. I mean, if we wouldn't have gave some of these other coaches, the Nashes and, some of the biggest names that are coaches of all time, if you go back far enough, Pat Riley and other ones that, what's up, Totes, who given the opportunity can become a great coach. Now, a couple things else I'd love to say. Just because you're a good player doesn't mean you can be a good coach. Just because you can analyze doesn't mean you can be a good coach. It's a different ball game. So they had to have seen something in him. I mean, keep in mind, this is a $1 billion corporation as well. You got to think on the business end. They did their due diligence. They brought in the other Hurley to try to get him. And Redick had no problem with that. Of course, he's like, of course, he has 2 national championships. I would have picked Hurley over me, but he's like, give me the opportunity. So he's being real about it. People asked him about what he thinks about what people say. And I loved his answer in a press conference. He said, I don't give a fuck. That's literally what he said. So he's winning me over already. So I'll root for him, but don't be too good, JJ.
Rios.
Honestly, to me, he comes off as a pretentious asshole. Like, he's going to be LeBron's mouthpiece. And when they're, under 500 and miss the playoffs and gets fired, they'll see what he does after that. Because I don't see it working out.
Pretentious assholes make really good coaches sometimes.
Sometimes.
But I agree. He is that too. He is that tremendously. I've heard a lot of stories about him personally, not professionally. And a lot of people think he's an asshole. And maybe being an asshole helps you deal with these big fucking egos a little better. I don't know. Only time will tell. He could be a big fucking flop.
If it was a different team and he didn't have the podcast of LeBron and, LeBron's, he's the main reason he got hired. If it was a different team, maybe. But it's like, he's going to be LeBron's mouthpiece. If somebody moved.
That's a great point. If you think about it, how many other teams did you hear JJ Redick might go there? None.
Pistons.
0.
Oh, that was a little, but that wasn't really a serious conversation. But now that after the Lakers considered him, then you hear a couple other, but it was never like JJ's up for 4 different teams because he doesn't have the experience. So, I mean, that is a very big downfall. I'm not going to knock that because that is a great argument. If you haven't proved yourself, you got to prove yourself. It's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah. And Nikki?
I personally, you guys know I was not a fan of the idea, but obviously JJ Redick went ahead and did so. So that's his choice. Now, how's he going to be able to deal with this team? Any different from Darvin Ham, Frank Vogel, so on and so forth, particularly LeBron and AD? Interesting question. And potentially Bronny as well. Interesting question, but time will tell. But you kind of wondered what's his relationship with LeBron, because usually it's been a trend ever since he went to Cleveland. The second go around, coaches have been hired and fired through LeBron. Trades have been made through LeBron. So is JJ buddies with LeBron? Does LeBron like him as of right now? I just get a feeling like that's what's going on because it's been that way now for the past decade since he left Miami in 2014. So I'll have to wait and see what is JJ going to do.
Yeah.
And more importantly, how's LeBron going to feel about it as the season goes along?
Bron's just coach. I mean, he's getting to that time. He's, I don't know, but player coach, yeah, we're not getting into that.
Yeah.
But
If
the
he-
one
if
thing
he-
I'm gonna
if he's there at whatever 52, I think the Lakers take Bronny tomorrow. If he's
tomorrow.
there, if it's 52 or whatever, number 52, if he's there, I think that's their pick. I think they take him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it feels
Yeah.
like.
Why not? At this point, it'll be
Yeah.
more spectacle for people to want to go buy tickets, and then you'll see
Or
something
they
you've
might
never seen
just-
before.
Trade for, or if Bronny gets picked somewhere else, the Lakers probably might offer a trade. That's what I'm thinking might happen.
I don't know. if
That'd be
they'll
a
go
terrible
that
idea, but I can see him doing it.
far. Yeah, but for me, JJ Redick said he's done with podcasting for now.
Yeah. Well, why
So-
not concentrate on the job you just got? That makes sense. Plus,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know if LeBron respects the guy, he's not going to be he's going to do still your coach, man. It's so much speculation. We have no proof over the last 10 or whatever damn years that LeBron's pulling the strings. It's all hearsay. And we'll never know because he can't say it. Coaches can't say it. Does he have major influence? Yes. Is he calling all the shots? That's fucking stupid to think that. I mean, it really is. It's a corporation. It's a business. Yes, he has major influence. I'm not denying that. But to sit here and say he made all the moves over the last 10 years on whatever team, that's ludicrous. You can't say that. There's no facts to support that, is what I'm saying. I said this last week in my rant. Yes, it seems that way because of the media, but we
Halftime.
don't have proof. It's frustrating to me. Give JJ the credit that he got hired for a professional position because they think they can do the job, not just because of LeBron. Yes, that's part of it. But you still have to go through a process of hiring somebody. Like I said before, maybe LeBron might not even be there. What if they get rid of him? What if he goes some to a different team? Then are you going to say LeBron picked JJ? Where's that argument then?
You just gotta wait and see if that happens.
We have no proof. It's all hearsay.
I mean, they're about to give him $60 million. They ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. I mean, they're going to do, and they're also probably, like I just said, probably going to pick his son for the spectacle for him. So I'm not saying they're not making decisions for LeBron. But do you think the Celtics care what Tatum and Brown think about their team? Sure. They're the two best players. Do you think the Sixers care what Embiid thinks about the moves we make? Yes, we've talked about that. What's wrong with the Dallas Mavericks consulting with Luka and Kyrie before they make a move? That's the stars that you're going to get people to work with. That's just common business sense.
It's common sense, yeah.
Yeah. It's just it's more elevated because it's LeBron, one of the arguments of the best to ever play, the leading scorer of all time. So everything is blown up bigger because it's LeBron. That's all I see. I think he's going to respect JJ as a coach even more because they're boys. Do you think LeBron and JJ want a video getting out there of LeBron doing this to JJ in a practice or in a game? Fuck no. I think he's going to respect his coach. Doesn't mean that they're not going to make moves for LeBron because he's the man. He's the face of the organization. You have to accommodate him somewhat. But
Yeah.
to think he's sitting at the head of the table, throwing ideas to people and saying this has to happen or I'm out of here. That's just we don't know. We're not sitting at these tables. Have we ever been at a meeting for an NBA team or any professional team? No. We're fans that only know what we know for what the media gives us. That's my point.
Yep, and I agree with that. But and then you have to go to other players too who have big influence as well. You got to go with like your Kevin. I don't know about Kevin Durant, but Devin Booker probably has to say in Phoenix. You got to go with Embiid. He's got to probably say in Philadelphia. You got to go with all these guys who do have a say. Like, it's just the way the league is right now.
And you're going to hear more about LeBron because it's a Laker. It's that you're going to hear more about that no matter what. I mean, if there's another player telling the coaches what they want and stuff, you're not going to hear about that as much as LeBron because it's the Lakers. You turn
Yeah.
on ESPN, there could be no news about the Lakers. There'll be a headline about the Lakers on ESPN. They'll make some shit up just so they can talk about the Lakers.
Oh yeah, God.
And they're not even a good team.
not.
You know, it's just like the Yankees. I'm a Yankee fan, so I'm a little, I mean, that as well.
Wait, you're a Yankees
I'm
fan?
a Pirate
I never
fan,
knew
but
that.
Don Mattingly was my favorite player in baseball of all time. So I like,
Oh,
I'm not one of those Yankee fans, just like I'm not a Steeler fan that thinks we're going to the Super Bowl every year. But I mean, that's what the Lakers, the Yankees, the Celtics, those teams that are always the Red Sox, they're going to make news about those because of the players, because of the history, because of the heritage. And the Cowboys too, like Arku said. Yes, we'll hear news about the Cowboys all year, and they could be 2-13, but they'll be talking about, here's the headline about Dak or somebody. Those are the main franchises in sports, so you're going to hear more about them
you're gonna hear everything. Like
ad nauseum.
Yep.
Until
You
you're
got-
sick of it, especially if you don't like those teams.
I hate to
Especially
say,
remember when Lonzo started with the Lakers before LeBron got there. That rookie season, they were going on about Lonzo and LeVar. So
and
that's
then
all they had to really talk about with the Lakers.
and then how you ready for this, Nikki? Remember
for
when
it.
LeBron got to Cleveland, or yeah, they drafted Wiggins, then he was out. They brought Kevin Love in. I'm just saying it happens. Like I hate it. I don't want to say this, but it's a wrestling reference. People try to peel back the curtain. People are trying to figure out what goes on behind
Yeah.
the scenes. Everyone thinks they know everything, but they don't. Yes, they have knowledge, like everyone here, about the game. We love the game. We study the game, but we don't know the business side of it. We don't know what goes behind closed doors. So for me, I'm just like, enough is enough already. And I saw your comment on that YouTube short I did on the network.
It's fun to criticize. It's fun to speculate. It really is. But you're right, Mitch. Like I just said, we've never been in a board meeting for a professional team. We don't know how that works. We don't know how the discussions work. And I think it's probably different with many franchises. But at the same time, it's an entertainment as well. And this is for ratings, for TV, just like Randy's saying. It's turning into where is Bronny going instead of Reza Shea, who is that's how you pronounce Zachary's name. He'll be going number 1 or 2 or 3.
He's going to be going number 1. That's my hot take.
So there's so many great stories, but why not go with the familiar story? LeBron's son, will he play with his dad? It's never been done. I get it. That's a news headline, but it should not be the main story of the draft. It is frustrating, like Randy said.
No, when he's projected to go in the second round, you got guys that are projected to go top 5 and top 10 that don't get as much coverage.
Did you guys see
I
the
don't
picture
really
I
know.
posted about the
Alex Sarr is
the
as much
youngins
as Bronny.
What about the youngins? Oh, yeah, I saw that.
from
Especially with
the
these guys like Nakia Topic, Alex Sarr, and these other guys coming from France
Topic.
or Serbia. Get the audience more familiar with who those guys are and why they're projected to go in the top 10.
I mean, sooner than later, this little draft class that's coming up from U17 right now. Carlos Boozer's 2 kids, Gilbert Arenas' kids, Trevor Ariza's kid, Bryce James, who's we've talked about is better than Bronny, and Carmelo's kid. So that class is coming up, and those 6 are going to be pretty damn good.
Oh.
You know, and that's what I'm used to. We're used to big names coming out of college. We don't have a lot. The Edie's and the Flipowskis, and there's a couple.
Oh, wow, you named the Duke guy instead of a Kentucky guy.
Well, I already named all 4 of the Kentucky guys. I'm just saying this is a draft where I plan on learning. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like
He's
I
actually
know.
on my list. He's
Like-
actually on my list for the Sixers.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know all the players that get drafted tonight and tomorrow. I don't. I'm hoping to learn more about them. There's a lot of unknowns. There's players from the elite. There's players from all over the world. There's players that have only been in college 1 or 2 years. So
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of information on them.
Yeah. I mean, I studied the draft like throughout the whole year, and I still forget some of their names. Like, there's so many players, and not everyone gets drafted.
But it's also exciting because there's a star in his draft somewhere. We just don't know who he is yet.
We just
Which
got to
one?
figure it out who.
Yeah, it depends on what team they go on, what opportunity they get, and maybe they need a year or 2 to develop. We've seen that with some of these guys the last couple of years. They don't blow up their rookie year, but after year 2 and 3, they get acclimated to the professional life, and then their game rounds out, and you see these players start to blow up maybe in year 2 or 3 now instead of the first year. Very rarely do we see those anomalies come out of college and blow up the first year. There's only a couple.
Right. Giannis was part of the 2014 draft. I mean, you can look at Klay Thompson. You can look at Draymond Green. I know I can't stand Draymond Green anymore.
No,
But
Retire, Draymond. Retire.
Oh god.
I've been saying that for God knows how long.
Your time has passed, Draymond.
Yeah, maybe Paul George can end up with Golden State. Again, we never know.
I hope the fucking Clippers stay with the Clippers. Keep you guys banked on those 4. Stay with them for a year. How about that? Stay with them for another year. See
And then-
how it works out.
And then here's for Paul George. Paul George might actually opt in to request a trade.
Yeah,
I mean, he
I'm
can
so
do
sick
that.
of hearing about Paul George. I know he's
Me
not like a
too.
total asshole, but why is the news like they're saying he's the #1 free agent out there? I mean, granted, he could be.
I mean, he
But-
could be.
What does he have left in the tank? What has he proven? He can be solid each year, but
he's a solid third player, but I mean, look at his mindset. He came out with a comment recently. Like, he doesn't really care about winning championships. He just cares about a certain style of ball. I'm like, why would I pay max money for someone who's not, committed to winning a championship? Like,
max
Exactly.
money. Why do so many people get the max deal? That's what I mean. I know the money's there, so they're going to pay him. But like my original conversation, the max money should be for those elite players, man.
and he
Now,
wants a 4-year deal at 35. Like, bro, come on. Like, what have
yeah.
you?
Yeah, he's seeking a 4-year deal. You're right, Randy. He's seeking a 4-year deal.
So he's seeking his last deal. Is what it
Yeah,
should
he
be.
was part of 2013, 2014. That's where Giannis was. We get the point. That wasn't a great draft class. Yeah, it wasn't. But it is what it is to reach their own. And then now, the Chicago Bulls pulled off the stupidest moves, in my opinion. They traded Alex Caruso to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Josh Giddey.
Elaborate,
Oh.
Mitch. Why is that such a bad trade? Tell me
No,
what your
for-
thoughts are.
No draft picks?
Rick.
What is that supposed to mean? I'm not Ben Simmons.
I mean, put all the garbage talk about Giddey aside. He's a talented young player. I mean,
No,
he
I'm
could-
not talking about that. I'm talking about the Thunder have 17 first-round picks, and Chicago didn't even want to get 1 or 2.
Oh,
Again,
okay. Yeah.
I don't know everything behind the thing. Maybe they tried and they said no, whatever it is. But I'm just saying, no draft picks.
Could it just be those 2 players in better situations? So just make the deal instead of like, because Alex Caruso has been rumored to be moved for how long, and no one could ever do anything. But now it's just for Giddey. Like, I see where you're coming from. It seems like it should be a little more, but I think Caruso's a solid player, but he's not an all-star. He's not a needle mover either. He's a piece to a puzzle. He
He's
might
not.
not even be a starter. I don't even think he's a starter on a lot of things.
He's going to come off the bench, but I mean,
Yeah.
he'll be solid with the second unit. And I think
Yeah.
Giddey gets a chance to start because I think Giddey will probably might have end up losing his starting spot anyway on the Thunder. So
Yeah, he
it's
would have.
good for him to play on the Bulls and see what he can do.
Yeah, but for Caruso, you add for that perimeter defense, and what the Thunder got, that defense is going to look great. It's going to look
Yeah,
nasty.
they have a hell of a team they've assembled down there. And I don't think they fall off at all losing Giddey. And I think that is a nice little, like you just said, getting Caruso and losing Giddey isn't really that bad of a thing for Thunder. You gain the
No, for the Thunder,
experience.
it's not. It's
Yeah.
Chicago. Because if you want to go for a rebuild, it looks like that's where they're headed towards. You got to get picked.
Well, they gained youth, you can say, but yeah, they didn't.
Youth.
He's only second year for Giddey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like-
So he could have unlocked potential still and be a little better than he was down there. Who knows? I mean, I think they just needed to get rid of Caruso, but you have a good point. Like, maybe it should have been a little more than just Giddey.
And then it's just like for Chicago, I was the one saying they were going to run it back with Lonzo coming back. Lonzo Ball. Looks like I was wrong there.
If they're stuck with Levine and DeRozan, they're going to be tough to get rid of those guys.
They're so much better without Levine. And actually,
That
Philly
money.
here's something about Philly halftime. You ready, halftime? I'm going to tell them about this. So when Caruso got traded, he called me or I called him, I forget. He was like, yeah, Sixers are going to get Zach Levine. I'm like, how do you know? He was like, oh, it was on ESPN. They shook hands. I'm like, who shook hands? I'm like, who? And I'm like, all right, whatever.
I mean,
he-
he's going to have to take a
Boy.
very big. He's way overpaid. I mean, he's a good
Yes.
player, but
Zach
he's way
LaVine,
overpaid.
yeah.
That's the problem. Who wants to take on that contract unless he's willing to really take a pay cut? And I mean, it should be those players that are getting paid tremendously. And let's bring up Tobias Harris. His contract so much. We go somewhere else. He shouldn't be anywhere near that. Should be 15 to 20 maybe million, not 35 million.
I wouldn't
mean,
even give him 20
If
mil.
you get a contract that's worth that much, good for you. If you don't prove that you're worth that in a few years, you got to get ready to lose money, bro. Same thing with Levine. If he's gonna go somewhere else, he ain't making that money. So his best thing is to stay put and make the money on through that contract. But that
Yeah.
team is doomed because of what they did. It seems.
You know how many teams called for like an Alex Caruso and even an Andre Drummond, who's a free agent right now? They could have got value for Andre Drummond, and now they're going to get nothing.
But the only thing, I mean, like Levine, what are you gonna do? Trade him for Klay Thompson? I mean, it's stuff like that. I mean, I could see maybe making a move that way, but
I could see like a couple seconds. I could see
yeah,
like
it's got to be something like that. Who's going to want Levine? Who's going to want that? I mean, it's not like he's a bad person or a bad player. He's just not as great as he's getting paid.
No. And now with DeRozan, you could say the same thing.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing about DeRozan. I mean, people keep on saying like DeRozan is good. He's a scorer. I'm like, anyone can score. It's where he's shooting the ball. Like when he shoots in the mid range, that's gonna hurt Embiid and so on and so forth.
And that's holding the Bulls back from trying to rebuild because they're stuck with those dudes.
I mean, Nikki, what do you think about the trade?
Dude, this is just a terrible deal for the Bulls because
Yeah.
you're going to get Josh Karl Malone Giddy, and you're still stuck with Levine.
God damn.
That's
Yeah.
so blown out of
DeRozan.
proportion, man. The kid went and got some pussy. Give him some credit. It wasn't illegal. Everyone blew it out of proportion.
Yeah,
He's not
Blaze
a
actually
potato.
did research on that.
Giddy, he got some pussy. So quit being jealous, everybody. That Giddy got some pussy.
Yeah, people are jealous of him and his $1 million.
Levine and DeRozan. I mean, Josh Giddy wasn't really moving the needle for the Thunder. And what's he going to do on the Bulls, who are already stuck in hell with their two top players being overpaid? And now for Caruso to the Thunder, that could help them. That could be an upgrade. So
Yeah.
that's a trade that could work out, especially the Ellery. What you guys said earlier on the defensive side, that could add some more depth to them, and he
Yeah.
could score some points. So it's a win for the Thunder. For the Bulls, it doesn't do anything for them. Down until you get rid of those Levine and DeRozan contracts, so you're going to be able to move out of below mediocrity to mediocrity.
Yep.
And we don't know if Levine's even going to come back and be the same player.
I don't think he is. I don't think.
So now you're paying him, overpaying him, and he's not the same player. Ooh, that's going to be a really bad contract now. And who do you think is going to want that if he comes back and he's a shell of what he was before the injury?
Yeah, I know. Rios.
Oh, this doesn't help. Go ahead, Rios.
No, I'm in agreement with you guys. It was a pretty one-sided trade. I mean, like you guys had mentioned, they have 17 draft picks. He's going to get one. Just one. Like, because with Caruso, he definitely helps out because he's not going to be a starter on the Thunder. He's going to provide, some veteran leadership coming from the bench. He's been in the league for a while. He's an elite defender. He helps them out, big time. With Giddy, but it doesn't really do much for the Bulls. Just a younger player than Caruso. It doesn't really move the needle one way or the other for them. And they still got DeRozan. They still got Lonzo Ball on there. They still got Levine. And who knows when Lonzo Ball's going to come back. They're kind of stuck there. They got Levine, who's a shell of himself at this point, but he's getting paid, all-star money.
So the Bulls are in shambles. All right. Good for the East. Good for the East. Stay that way, Chicago. You had yours in the 90s.
Yeah. Now let's go to the West Coast because Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors are not seeing eye to eye on on his contract. For me, I don't know. He's gone. I don't see it.
It's a little bit of a different situation because I think he still has some left in the tank. And I've said this last week too. He's never had a team where he doesn't have Steph Curry right next to him. So as a player, as a professional, I'm sure he would love to go somewhere he can prove he wasn't just the second fiddle to Steph. He could do it on a different team. Now he's up in the years a little bit, but he can still produce. He can still be very valuable. We go right back to the same question. How much is he going to cost a team to get him? That's the thing.
Yeah.
And at this point in your career, you got to be willing to take less if you're going to go on a team, try to prove yourself and go for a championship somewhere else. That's just the way I think you got to look at it.
You bring up a good point about proving yourself, because remember what the Pistons did a while back? They had that with Blake Griffin. That was his best year ever. Then he got paid. Then you look at Jeremy Grant. He got paid. Then he got traded. And then now the Pistons, I'm not even going to get that far, but I'm just saying you bring up a good point about.
You never discredit a professional player having a rebirth on a different squad, a different system. We've talked about that before too. Sometimes just in a different scenario, a player can be reborn or unlock potential he couldn't on the team before because of the coach, because of the other players, because of the system. So players like we're talking about going to a different team, you got to open your mind and think. You can't just think about what they did on that team, because going to a different team, different scenario, different players, different system could unlock potential, or it could bury a player that he doesn't work in that. So a new opportunity for guys like Clay, Alex Caruso, Zach LaVine, you never can count them out because they are super talented players. Put them in a better scenario, maybe they're playing a little impede.
Shout out to my guy
Really
Quentin,
good.
man. Hey,
I'm with him on that.
I'm with him
As much
on that
as I
too.
love Embiid too, it's frustrating when your major player can't play a whole season.
I just have one question for Quentin. Where's your man Tobias Harris going?
I think Mitch you might be right with the Detroit thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think he can hold up. If I see someone taking a risk on him, I can see Detroit probably. They can afford to take a risk.
Yeah, if it's gonna be
Jeremy Grant.
one of these bad teams that gives him the bag, because at this point, what do you got to prove? He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He has 4 rings.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Mitch. He's off the books. They were saying on ESPN yesterday.
Who?
Tobias Harris. They said he's pretty much gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Pretty much
They
gone.
were saying that like he's off the books. He's pretty much done. Pretty much, it's just a matter of where
It
he might land.
matters of where. It's between. I forget where it's between. I know Detroit is one of them. I think Utah was the second one, or something. Please, you know what? I would not be mad if they did. Yes, I would not be mad if you do a signing trade Tobias for lower marketing.
Hey, give him a couple picks too. I don't care. Marketing fits the system so well. We missed out on one. We can get the other.
I would not be mad
staying.
at all.
I can't
Tobias,
say
we'll
monkey
give you all the
marketing.
money you earn, and then you're gone. So,
Tobias
yeah.
in Utah. Get that trending. Please.
Well, and then Nikki, how do you feel about Clay?
I think it's about time to move on for both sides because they're not seeing eye to eye. And Clay's proficiency has dropped. I mean, sure, he's a veteran. He's a name that fans recognize, but you're on the downswing now if you're the Warriors. We've seen it the last 2 years, and they lost in the play-in to the Kings. No offense to the Kings, but they lost in the 9 versus 10 game in the play-in. They're clearly on the downswing.
Yeah,
And
he
Clay's
meant
not
Clay.
the same
He
player he
meant Clay,
was. It's
Archer.
like one of those, hey, Clay, thank you for your service. We wish you best of luck in your future endeavors. Let him go to a team with young guys. Maybe like the Pistons. Is that going to turn them into a playoff team? No, but at least give a mentor to them and could help them learn and grow going forward. And
Yeah.
it could be a presence in the locker room. So that could be a good fit in that regard to help the young guys or any other team with a bunch of young guys that has room to sign them.
Yeah. The thing with Clay, and I kept on saying this time and time again, when you're a shooter, you last very long in the NBA. You can last a long time. So who's gonna pay the buck?
He's been with them for a good minute too. I mean, think about how long he's been with the Warriors. I mean, and that's the only team he's been with. I mean, that's a rarity nowadays. I mean, you talk about another topic. I think we already talked about the coaches.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about another one, but coaching, man, coaches just don't stick around as much anymore. You get a team that has 1 or 2 issues, they're like, fire the coach. It's like, man, why wouldn't you want to keep your coach for a while to see? I mean, that's old school mentality.
Look at Monty Williams. 1 year. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, there was behind the scenes shit with him. I have no doubt. I don't know
Oh
any
my
facts,
God,
but
yeah.
I think there was more to it than that. But I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you, when you hire a coach, wouldn't you think that they would need, especially for teams not that good, wouldn't you need a couple years to really see if they can get their players in? And it's just like you see in college, when a new college coach comes in, a lot of recruits go somewhere else because they came there for that coach, and it's like, you'd think coaches would get more of an opportunity, but every year we're talking about 6 or 7 coaches that are out of a job every year. That's insane to me. Like, how do you get stability within your organization if you got a new coach every other year? Like, that means you fucked up as an organization if you have to keep firing your coaches. That's not on the coaches, if you ask me. Lakers, I'm putting on Pelinka and those guys if they're picking the wrong coaches, because the coaches that they had the last few weren't bad coaches. It didn't work out. And that's on management, if you ask me. That ain't on the coach.
That's just the front office in general. That's the front office.
What, their 4th coach in 6 years?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is just, you can't even say anything. It speaks for itself.
And then actually, speaking of coaches, Kenny Atkinson is the new head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I don't know jack shit about him, so I can't really speak on it. I'll be honest.
He was part of the Brooklyn Nets. He's really good at developing young guys.
If you and Rios want to take the floor, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with me and Nick here.
I don't know much
Kenny
about
who? They killed Kenny? What?
You know that?
Does he talk like that?
No. I'm just trying to say that because with the Cavs now getting a new head coach who's been around for a while, he was the assistant coach for Golden State. Does he have a say about Donovan Mitchell? Because now they're in a bind. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. So whoever the head coach, I think you're gonna have to pick one, right? He's got to pick someone.
Has he ever been a head coach before?
Yes, I think he was a head coach for Brooklyn a while ago, like with the Paul George. Let me look up.
That's what I'm trying. I've got his Wikipedia here.
Yeah, he was. There we go.
Nets 2016 to 2020.
Yeah, wasn't that with like the Paul Pierce, Kevin
He's been an
Garnett?
assistant for the Knicks, Hawks, Clippers, and Warriors, and he was with the 4 years with the Nets as their head coach.
Yeah,
and he looks like a dick.
he does.
He looks like he's just a guy that's like, dude, why are you being such a dick about everything? I don't know him personally, but it just looks like a dick.
Yeah, Quentin, a sign and trade. Sign and trade. And shout out to Alexander. KD is going to the Rockets.
Like, it depends for what.
Yeah. If Rios, I mean, for just one pick or something, why not?
Other than involved players, I'm cool with it.
KD, I think, and I've been a big KD fan since Texas. I got his jersey. I loved his game because he was in, out, shooting threes when it doesn't look like a guy that should be able to shoot threes. And he's always, to me, he's been better when he's not around a bunch of other big stars. Like, look at the big threes that he's been in that didn't work out. Like, not that Houston doesn't have potential big stars in the future, but you put him as the one star, and then I think he can elevate Şengün and some of the Jalen Greens and some of the young guys that you guys have. That would be, and then he would be the man when it comes down to closing games and stuff, which he can definitely do. But he's been clouded when he's around Booker and Beal, when he's around Kyrie and, well, whoever, the big threes he was in. I mean, the best big three he was in was back at, what was it, the Thunder, when it was him and Harden and Westbrook.
Your favorite player.
Yeah, James Garden.
Yeah, but Kevin Durant seems more keen on being part of big threes than he does leading a team. So,
but that hasn't worked. Why would you want to try it again? He needs to be the man for a year.
Ask Kevin Durant that question.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. I mean, what happened, Katie? Why can't you play with other stars? But when you're the man, I think he can. He still has a couple really good years in him. And if that could be transitioned to help the Houston boys get better.
Yeah, because him being part of it hasn't worked since he left Golden State. Because he left Golden State to form a big three in Brooklyn. That didn't work.
Didn't work. Then the Phoenix big.
It's not working.
Coach, I think your team right now has a better chance at a title than mine.
Coach, what are you smoking? He's just trolling us Sixer fans.
Yeah,
Big shout out
Yeah.
to Coach Ed.
yeah. What is up,
Go
Jay?
get
How's
the
it going?
Villanova coach now for Tibbs is gone. Get the Villanova coach to come over to the Knicks.
Oh my god, if that happens, if that actually happens, I'm gonna laugh. Because it actually might. And they're missing Ryan Arcidiacono. People are forgetting about Arcidiacono, so if they bring him back, he was there on the team before. So again. So yeah. And then actually, what move if you were Paul George, what would you do? Go into
Stay.
the huh?
Stay right where you're at.
I was going to say that that's one of the options. So going to Magic, Sixers, or signing
Sorry.
trade, staying with the Clippers.
I'm sick of hearing all the rumors about him. Just fucking
I
stay
mean-
there and prove that the 4 you guys got can do it.
Pause.
Just listen to his recent comments. I mean, I don't think this dude cares about winning. He just cares about getting the bag. So whoever gives him the most money is where he's going to go.
Facts. That is true.
He said it himself. He doesn't care about winning a championship. He just cares about style of ball. I'm like, okay, cool.
I know, Arku. That's my point. Thank you for making my point. You can't just pile up a bunch of stars and hope it works. That's why I think the U.S. team might be in trouble because they got a bunch of great stars, but we got teams out there that are going to be better teams.
Yeah. Paul George retire right off into the sunset. Draymond Green needs to do that.
He's making too much money to do that, though. PG's still got too much money to make. But
Yeah.
I don't see a team throwing. But here's what's weird. I don't see a team throwing a shitload at PG, but they just did for Mikal Bridges.
Right.
You know, like, what's going on here? Like, I know he's younger and stuff, but if he can get 5 firsts and a second, Paul George should be asking for 7 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks if we're going to compare, which is insane. But if you compare to what Bridges got, why wouldn't Paul George want a shitload to go to a team? And Rios is dead on. Whoever gives him the most money, he's probably going to go there.
Yeah.
You know,
If he was serious about winning a title, he'd stay with the Clippers.
Yeah, what's wrong with staying with your super team you put together? See what you can do. You only were together for 1 year.
I don't even
Look
think
what
he's
happened to
put it
Kyrie
together.
and Luka. What we said about Kyrie and Luka last year. Ain't working. It ain't working. This year, it kind of worked. They made it to the fucking
Right.
finals.
Well,
I want to give
Blaze,
it a
you
chance.
well, Blaze, you said that Paul George put it together, but again, it's an organization. It was the front office who did that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Mikal, yep, I agree with that.
This stage, yeah.
At this
I-
point, you would have to say it, but I'm just saying, if he's already making, look at how much did I don't know the numbers, how much Bridges' contract was, how much Paul George's contract is.
You know, with the Mikal Bridges thing, not a lot of people are talking about this. He has not missed like many games since high school.
He's missed 0 games since high school.
He
Tom
missed
Thibodeau is
0.
about to put that body
You
to the
just
test.
jinxed the shit out of Mikal Bridges.
I didn't say that. That was
Oh,
He's going
boy.
down in preseason.
No, it's not in the group chat.
sorry about that, coach.
The coach is
But-
right. I mean, you got
Yep.
to be. I mean,
Tom Thibodeau's about to put Mikal Bridges' body to the test.
put him in a bubble for the summer. You ain't going anywhere. You ain't doing nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And actually, back to the Paul George, someone on Twitter had a great comparison. I thought that was funny. Someone said Paul George is the Doc Rivers of the NBA.
That's-
I mean, is that wrong? Not wanting to
that's what
win?
you- if that's
I
what
mean,
you
Doc
wanna-
Rivers got a ring at least.
yeah.
I mean, with that super team, come on.
He at least cared about winning. Paul George does not care about winning.
I think we're gonna end in like 5-10 minutes, coach. 5-10 minutes. I gotta get ready for the draft tonight.
Yeah, just get ready. Get used to saying Reza Shea.
He says, I still can't pronounce that.
Zach Reza Shea. That's it.
He's a shame.
Reza
So,
Shea.
Is that the number one pick? Let's talk about
Zachary
the draft
Reza
right now.
Shea. Him or Sar.
The
I mean, it
projected
looks
pick.
like it's going to be one now, but it's going to be one of the French kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably one of them's going 1 or 2.
There's a little flea flying
We'll
around.
see.
here. I'm sick of-
Well, like they said on ESPN, the draft really starts at number 3. Because depending
Yeah.
on the Rockets pick, that's really going to shape how the draft turns out.
Yeah. It seems right now that Zachary is going to be 1 and Sar will be 2. That's what it seems like. But I like the fact that you don't really know.
Remember with I think it was a couple years ago. Everyone thought it was going to be Jabari Smith number
Yeah.
1, and then they took Paolo Banchero number 1.
Yeah. And
I
look,
don't even know what Jabari. Wait, what team is Jabari Smith on? Is he on the Rocket?
Yeah, he's on the Rockets.
There you go.
and Paolo didn't come out scoring 30 points a game his first year. It took him a year or two, and now he's a star. So it took him a couple years.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah,
one thing I think we got to go into tonight thinking, we're not going to hear a bunch of names that we're familiar with that are just going to come out and be all-stars year one. There might be one in there, but like we said last week, and you guys said it too, these are a lot of puzzle pieces that teams are going to try to get the right guy for the bench. They see what the Celtics did. They see what the Nuggets did the last 2 years. Everyone's going to try to start making their teams like that, which makes more sense than grabbing 3 all-stars and saying, take us to the promised land.
Please don't say that. Now Sixers fans are going to want Kevin Durant.
I wouldn't turn that down. Our 16th pick and our other pick, give us KD. Sign me up. Give them both.
I'm
picks.
not for that.
Oh, I would take it. In
I said this
second.
before, and I'll say it again. I'll take OG Anunoby over KD.
I'll take KD.
Well, everyone wants KD, but the thing for me, OG's a better fit, but we're not going to get in that conversation right now.
I mean, if you want Maxey and Embiid to be the top 2, yes, OG is
That's
a good
That's
third.
exactly where I'm
Because
getting
KD could throw a monkey wrench into that and score 25 a game, and Maxey's going to have to suffer a little bit, maybe go back down to 20 a game instead of 25 and run the show a little more. But if that means going to the finals, sign me up. But who knows? Like I just said, KD with 2 other stars hasn't worked the last 2 times.
KD needs the right players to be hot.
Butterfly thinks everybody's hot.
I know.
I love it. I love
I
it.
know. I can't. Yeah. So I think you guys are right. I think it's gonna be Reset. I still can't pronounce it.
Reza Shea.
Reza Shea. Got it. Thank you.
I expect a lot of trades tonight.
I was just going to say that too. I think we're going to see some trades that surprise us. I like that. That's exciting. Like not knowing, like a couple years ago or 4 or 5 years ago, when like the top 5 picks are going to be, it's kind of anticlimactic. Tonight, I'm excited for it because it's the unknown.
Yeah.
Like I know about the Kentucky guys pretty much. I know about some of the names we've been hearing, the Zach Edey's and some of the guys that we've heard, but there's a lot of question marks, man. A lot of question marks.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And where's Bronny going? Oh my God, where's Bronny going? I gotta know.
JJ,
No.
JJ, you did not just tweet this. The more I think about it, Trae Young will make things interesting for the Sixers.
I can't disagree.
I
Would make it
can.
interesting.
Defense. There you go.
Who plays defense in the NBA nowadays?
Oh, now you're pulling that card on me.
We discussed that all last year
We
almost. No one
discussed
plays
it all the time.
defense anymore.
That was fair. I'll give you credit
Defense is gone. It's just different.
there. It's different.
It's still there.
Yeah.
It's just very different. Look what Luka did. He had that one really bad defensive game. The next game, he came back and shut people down. So I mean, it's
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
hey, but if he can shoot the lights out, why not?
Mhm.
We tried with 2 guys last year, bringing them in to be that third shooter, point guard. Lowry and Hield, are they a failure? Do we give up on them? I say no. Give them another year, but I can see why people are thinking, get them out of here. What's up,
So-
MYG?
NYG, how do you feel? Mikal Bridges is gone.
He probably should feel naked because they took everything from you.
Drink, sir.
They're saying they got hosed.
Oh, he's happy.
They got fleeced.
He's happy.
I don't say that.
Well-
I think it's one of those moves where if you're going to rebuild, that's the type of move you got to make
Yeah.
to get somebody gone.
But NYG, you ready for this? You still got Ben Simmons.
I think he's the next to go. I think they get rid of 2 more guys.
They
think they
have
get-
to. They
I
have
think
to.
everyone except Cam Thomas is gone.
Yeah, Cam should stay, but any
I
other
think
pieces
Claxton is staying. I
expendable.
honestly think Claxton is staying.
Should, but once again, if someone offers him a little more, I don't see him staying.
Again,
I wouldn't
think
mind him
Zach-
on the Sixers.
I would
Yeah,
love
but
for him
at
as a
some point,
backup.
You got to blow it up and start over because
Yep.
it hasn't worked for almost a decade with the Nets, adding these aging stars. So just try a different route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody got any hot takes about the draft? I mean, I like Rios is a lot of trades one.
I think number one gets traded.
Yeah, the Knicks got fleeced.
You think number one traded?
for a role player? That's a dub. I
Did
don't
you say?
Yeah, I think number one pick gets traded.
Okay, that would be fun. Like now where and for
I got
what?
one. I got one. Butterfly. I think the Spurs are going to trade up and get Darius Garland somehow, some way. I
Hmm.
think they're going to get Darius Garland. Sorry, Rios.
No, you're good.
Yeah, they need to make a move. I mean, otherwise, I mean, is this the type of draft where having 2 top 10 picks is a really big deal? We don't know.
I see a lot of teams trading down. Like there's no real like blue chip players here. It's like the first 3 guys are going to be coming off the bench. They're not going to be starters.
Do you guys think Zach Edey goes in the first round or second round? Because I know
I
he's
see him
projected
going-
late first, early second.
I'm going first.
In the 20s in the first
Okay,
round.
yeah, I think first too. What about you, Nikki?
Maybe late first.
I think his combine performance really helped him out a lot.
Yeah, agree. I see Toronto. A lot of them. I see him going to Toronto.
Hot
in the
take.
fall.
Sixers are signed.
Korkmaz.
I would not mind that. That would be funny.
So I found before we jet off, I found like when I do fantasy football drafts,
Oh,
When I-
we found that out in the group chat.
when I find a list, I like to have a list that's more than one person's opinion. Like when I go to see who I like in fantasy football, I don't like just this reporter's top 100. I like when they take like 8 different people and they average it out. So I found
Yeah.
one. I found one for the NBA, and
Ooh.
so these are like 10 different people, and they ranked them all. So 8 people have Zachary Riza-Shea going number 1 to the Hawks, Sarr going to the Wizards, Shepherd going to the Rockets. That's pretty much the 3 that I've been hearing. Then Castle going to the Spurs, Buzelis going to the Pistons, either Castle or Klinging going to the Hornets, Cody Williams to the Trailblazers. I don't know who. I'm not going to pretend I know who T-Jane Salon is. Is that the other French guy?
There's a lot of French guys.
To the Spurs, Ron Holland to the Grizzlies,
Oh, I like
Dalton-
Ron Holland to the Grizzlies.
Dalton Connect to the Jazz,
I would not mind that as
the
well.
Bulls with either Devin Carter or Dillingham, the Thunder with Carrington or Dillingham, and of course Topic's in there somewhere.
What about the Sixers? Did it say that?
We're number 13, Jacoby Walter for the Kings. This is consensus, like average.
Yeah,
Tristan Da Silva, number 14, to the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then 15.
that's all he went was they only did 14 average.
Why?
They averaged out the top 14. Bleacher Report, Yahoo, The Athletic, The Ringer, ESPN. They took all those mocks and combined them for the top 14. But so we'll have to wait to see where the Sixers go.
Oh my god. I really hope it's Jerry McCain.
Yeah, that is one I've seen a lot. And I think that would be a nice fit.
That would be a nice fit for Rios to Reed Shepard.
Yeah, like I said, they can go either way, trade the number 3 or draft Shepherd because he provides what they need, shooting.
He's a solid player. I mean, I'm not just saying that because he's a Kentucky guy. He's just a solid type of player. Great work ethic, pure shooter. You talk about 3-and-D. I think he can do that well in the NBA. I think he's a great piece to what you guys already have is a pretty damn good puzzle.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. I'm really excited. So really quick, guys, before we end the show here, I just have a little announcement to make.
Uh-oh.
I will have a new show starting Saturday, not Thursday, Saturday, called the Courtside Chat. So what that is, it's going to be a vertical live, and we just talk about NBA. The ball is... I didn't even get to say it, and then you went like that.
Your balls are in his hands, people.
No, the ball's in your court. So, the ball's in your court. So that will be Saturday, 4:00, I think. So I'm excited for this.
It's all
Really
about
am.
the balls, and he can do the old hawk tour.
Spit on that.
I hate
Spit on
that
that thing.
I hate that meme.
Hey, here's my take. The one thing I'd be, and this is going to be sexual reference, so if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. I'll be worried about that girl's teeth.
Oh,
I'd be more worried about her teeth than I'd be worried about the saliva. She got some chompers. She got hurt somebody.
thank God I finished my water bottle. But pause. There you go. But yeah.
Yes,
Shout
out,
though. I love the idea, Mitch.
Either way, it's
clown
going
on
in
you.
her mouth.
I clown on you, but Mitch, that's a great idea just to kind of chill stream to talk about sport, talk about NBA, talk about basketball.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun.
And it's actually each an episode here and there is going to be about a specific team. So maybe one episode I'll have the Rockets, one episode I'll talk about the Warriors and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited. Really am. Without CJ, what Atlanta getting the first pick means Trae Young is gone. I doubt it. I really doubt that. But
No, you don't know who the Hawk Tua girl is, Butterfly? Just Google HAWKTUA. I like how they put AJ Hawk next to Tua Tagovailoa.
oh,
They had
did
them
you see
next
what
to each
Liv-
other. Hawk
did you-
Tua.
did you see
Ugh.
did you see Liv Morgan?
I mean, I don't want to get too sexual crazy, but why the fuck are you spitting on it? Just use your mouth. It's wet.
Oh my god.
Jeez. What are these
No.
kids into nowadays?
All right, guys.
Spit on my dick. Get out of
This
here with that.
podcast will no longer be on Spotify. What
It'll
is that?
now be on the
Andy?
Playboy channel.
Yep.
It'll be on
Oh.
the Spice Network.
I'll be on OnlyFans.
NBA OnlyFans coming soon.
All right. On that note, guys, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe.
Enjoy
Nice
the
to-
draft.
Enjoy the draft, everybody. I'm going live.
Check
Okay.
out Mitch on Edge of Philly and his channel live tonight for the draft. He doesn't like us, so he's going to go over there.
Okay. Hey, I'm streaming night 2.
I know.
Or
Enjoy the
days,
draft, guys. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I can't wait. New
Pick your nose. Pick your picks.
Blaze content from Mitch's channel. Bruh.
Yeah, someone's
Yeah.
going to clip that. Clip that minute, motherfuckers. About Hawk Tua and saliva and biting and swallowing and
Pickle roll.
all that good stuff.
Oh boy.
Pickle and roll.
Pickle, hey, prime time with the comment of the night.
Hey,
The
that beats
Pickle and Roll
Damien's. That
podcast.
beats Damien's comments forever.
No, Damien just has dumb comments.
Yeah,
That was funny,
exactly.
prime time. And I hope you're doing better too, bro.
Yeah. Prime time. He messaged me as well. So, guys, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, enjoy the NBA draft tonight. And my hot take is this:
Lickle and Tickle podcast.
Bronny James.
the lick, Nikki.
The lick your pickle. Spit on that thing podcast coming soon.
And we're out. Have a good night.